the top 10 most popular fragrances right now on the fragrance resource called Fragrantica. Now, I'm not certain, but I'm fairly confident in saying that these change throughout the year. So right now, the top 10 are going to be winter, cooler weather fragrances. And the fragrances that they have there are kind of surprising, but some not so much. And if at any point this kind of content interests you, be sure to consider hitting the subscribe down below. So what we'll do is we'll go from 10 down to 1. Number 10 here is Baccarat Rouge 540. This is an incredibly loud, incredibly sweet fragrance. And note that it's the normal Baccarat Rouge 540, the Eau de Parfum, not the extrait. Some of the main accords here are going to be that's woody, amber, warm, spicy. It says fresh, spicy, metallic, aromatic, white floral, and animalic. This is just a really loud, sweet fragrance that is so heavily duped. Then we'll get to the notes. We have saffron, jasmine, amberwood, ambergris, hedioine, fir resin, cedar, sugar, ambroxan, and oak moss. Right off rip, I don't see this as being a very masculine fragrance. It says for men and women, but it's so incredibly loud and sweet. Definitely want to consider if you're looking for compliments. Just know this one comes with a price tag, and definitely sample before you buy a full bottle. For it being fall and cool weather, I would not expect for this next fragrance to be at this spot. Number 9 is YSL Y Eau de Parfum. Described as aromatic, woody, fresh, spicy. This note is super sweet and super loud. Now imagine the strongest soap shower gel scent, or like in-your-face blue. You get this here. Now, like Baccarat Rouge, this garners a ton of compliments, which I feel is going to be a reoccurring theme with these here, is that they're going to be heavily complimented fragrances. Now, YSL Y Eau de Parfum gets a lot of comparison to things like Dior Sauvage. It doesn't smell anything like Dior Sauvage, but it has that generic, loud, blue scent to it. Where Dior Sauvage is like super heavy citrus, this right here is going to be super heavy with juniper berries. So it's super sweet and super loud. Now, next fragrance here is one that I've been wanting to try out. I have the EDT version of this one, but what's next here is Jean Paul Gaultier Le Beau Le Parfum. It's described as sweet, woody, coconut, amber, vanilla, tropical, a tropical Jean Paul Gaultier. Where the eau de toilette is like super nice too. It's fantastic for summer. My only issue with the eau de toilette is that it doesn't quite last as long as I want it to. But fantastic, I don't wear it enough. I might wear that tomorrow. The difference in the Le Beau Le Parfum and the Le Beau eau de toilette bottle is going to be just that there's a black to blue gradient with the Le Parfum, and the Le Beau is just blue. Both with a very unique bottle style. Now the notes on here, according to Fragrantica, are going to be pineapple, iris, ginger, cypress, mid notes of coconut, which is shared in the eau de toilette, and woodsy notes. Now your base notes are going to be tonka bean, sandalwood, amber, and ambergris. So just based off of this, I would picture that fragrance would be a bit loud, which is good, but I imagine the tonka bean and amber being able to carry the fragrance. I would like to try this out and see how it is compared to the eau de toilette. Now the eau de toilette is a super complimentary fragrance. One of my absolute favorites to wear in the super hot days in summer. This one might be a little better for the cooler weather. Man, now next here is a really good one. I sampled this one, but I really enjoyed the sample when I did have it. This here is Emporio Armani Stronger With You Intensely. Now I have a full bottle of the Stronger With You Freeze, which is great for summer. And I used to own a bottle of the Just Stronger With You, which is great, but for me it was a bit too sweet. So like in this, you'll see top notes of pink pepper, juniper, and violet, mid notes of toffee, cinnamon, lavender, and sage, and base notes of vanilla, amber, tonka bean, and suede. So it's a very dense fragrance. I remember when I was wearing this, it was very sweet, almost a bit cloying, but definitely is a good scent for those of you that want to go from stuff like Dior Sauvage into stuff that has a bit more of a dense, bold fragrance, I guess. Now this is one that I definitely see why it's popular during the cooler weather winter months. Next one here is one that I only have a sample of, it's somewhere around here, but it's so good in the winter and the fall. It's masculine, it smells like you're sitting by a fireplace to be exact. It's by the Fireplace by Maison Margiela. Main accords being woody, vanilla, balsamic. And the notes, you're looking here at the cloves, pink pepper, orange blossom, mid notes of chestnut, guaiac wood, juniper, and the base notes of vanilla, Peru balsam, and cashmere. It's great that it says that, but just imagine sitting in a house during the holidays by a fireplace. Maybe even by like a bonfire. It's a great fragrance, but I really only recommend it during the really cold months. But people around you will enjoy the smell of it. It's definitely one that lasts like all day long. Next here is one of my absolute favorites in my collection. Let's go ahead and that is going to be Xerjoff Naxos. Now at some point I took the cap off of my Renaissance bottle and put it onto my Naxos bottle, so I get a really, just bit off the atomizer here, I get a really like floral tobacco, kind of interesting. The main accords in this are going to be sweet, vanilla, honey, and tobacco. Lavender, citrus, is aromatic, floral, warm, spicy, and powdery. One of, if not the very best, well-rounded tobacco fragrance in my collection. Sweet honey tobacco that's carried by lavender. It's one that's not linear at all, like it does develop over time. And from first spray to the dry down is a fantastic experience for a fragrance. Plus, it does look kind of cool. This makes two Jean Paul Gaultiers on this list. The first was Le Beau Le Parfum. This is going to be Le Male Le Parfum. This is going to be, its main accords are warm, spicy, vanilla, lavender, aromatic, powdery, iris, woody, amber, and violet. Not super familiar with this fragrance. It's one that I've been wanting to try, but the DNA of Le Beau is one that I don't really gravitate towards. It seems to be a bit too dense for me at times when I have worn it in the past. But seeing how well received this is now, I might just go get a sample of it and share with you guys how I feel about it. With top notes of cardamom, mid notes of lavender and iris, base notes of vanilla, oriental notes, and woodsy notes. That could smell like anything, really. I mean, that's a very vague note breakdown in a way, but you can tell that it's going to be something that is a bit warm with vanilla and cardamom. The lavender and the iris, I would imagine, would make it a bit more masculine and carry a bit. The iris could come across as powdery. I imagine the woodsy notes that are in the base down. The iris, I imagine, would come across kind of powdery, with the woodsy and the oriental notes and vanilla kind of carrying the fragrance versus just being in the dry down. It is kind of cool that two Jean Paul Gaultiers are in this, the most popular fragrance right now. And next here is a very cool fragrance, one that I've really enjoyed. It is going to be Angel Share by Kilian. This is a fragrance that has been hyped up every year since it's been released, with the main accords of this being woody, warm, spicy, vanilla, cinnamon, amber, and powdery. It's a whole lot of cinnamon, not a lot of booze. One of the base notes here being candied almond and praline. Now imagine opening a bag of like candied almonds that has like cinnamon on it, and you get this here. Now top note is going to be cognac. Mid notes of cinnamon, tonka bean, oak, and hedione. Base notes of vanilla, praline, sandalwood, and candied almond. Maybe I'm just unfamiliar with the scent of cognac, but I just get cinnamon, candied almond, and vanilla, really. Now, this note breakdown does not give this scent justice in terms of how good it actually smells. Definitely one that is deserving of all the hype it gets. Now, 2 here is going to be another Jean Paul Gaultier. This is Le Beau Elixir. So both the Le Parfum and the Elixir are on this list. And Le Beau. I've got to try this fragrance. With the main accords being vanilla, sweet, honey, amber, aromatic, lavender, tobacco, green, fresh, spicy, and powdery. And the top notes being lavender, mint, vanilla, and benzoin. Base notes of honey, tonka bean, and tobacco. That's interesting. It's different. If you have tried Le Beau Elixir and you enjoy it, let me know. If it's more popular than things like Angel Share and Naxos, it has to be good. Now, number one is a dupe. It is Lattafa by Khamrah. It's good. It's sweet. It's not my favorite. You can see that they're trying to dupe at least the bottle of this here. I don't believe this is the dupe of Angel Share though. It might be kind of inspired by maybe, but it's long lasting. It's sweet. Let me go ahead and get a. It has gotten better over time. I will give it that though. It has gotten better over time, but it is one that I really would only wear in the really cold months. I'm just not a big fan of how this smells coming off my skin. If I put it onto a shirt or something, it might be different, but you're going to have top notes of cinnamon, nutmeg, and bergamot, mid notes of dates, praline, tuberose, and some aroma chemical. Base notes of vanilla, tonka bean, amberwood, myrrh, benzoin, and gallowwood. Yeah, there's a lot of notes. It's really hard to... There are a lot of notes. I get a lot of the nutmeg, I'm guessing. It is such a blend of scents. There's a ton of cinnamon that's there. There is cinnamon there. It doesn't, to me, just smell like cinnamon sticks. The main thing I'm smelling here is either the dates or the nutmeg. It's different, you know? It's okay. Would I put it at number 1? No, I don't think so. That might go to show that just because it's number 1 on a popular list doesn't mean it's necessarily going to be the most, favorite on the list. It's just that it's hyped up right now. And this is definitely a hyped up fragrance right now. If you have tried any of these fragrances, let me know down below. I am in the need of picking up some new fragrances. So we'll see how that goes. But guys, until next time, enjoy your fragrances.